All right, let's jump right in. If you're running Google Ads, then you've definitely heard of Target ROAS. It's Google's super smart, AI-powered bidding strategy that promises to get you the most bang for your buck. But, and this is a big but, getting it right can be tricky. It's incredibly powerful for sure, but it's also pretty demanding. So today, we're going to lay out the exact roadmap you need to follow to make it work for you.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get crystal clear on the goal of Target ROAS. Then, we'll run through the absolute non-negotiable pre-flight checklist. After that, we'll cover a 3-phase ramp-up for brand new campaigns, talk about the special rules for app campaigns, then get into mastering conversion windows, and finally, we'll wrap up with choosing the right attribution model. Let's get to it. Okay, Section 1. What is the big idea behind Target ROAS anyway? At its heart, it's about changing how you think about your ad spend. We're moving away from just getting clicks or even just getting conversions to getting real, tangible, measurable value.
So here it is, by the book. Target ROAS, or tROAS, is all about getting the most conversion value. That's the key phrase right there. It does this based on the specific return you tell it you want. So if you set a 500% target, you're literally telling Google, hey, for every single dollar I give you, I need you to bring me back $5 in tracked revenue. See? It's not about volume, it's all about profitability.
Now, before you even dream of flipping that tROAS switch, you absolutely have to run a pre-flight check. I'm serious, if you skip this part, your campaigns are basically set up to fail before they even get off the ground. This data isn't just a suggestion, it's the fuel that makes this whole thing run. And the most important piece of that fuel is historical data. Google's AI needs something to learn from, and the amount it needs actually changes depending on your campaign type. So for a standard search campaign, you need at least 15 conversions in the last 30 days, though honestly 30 is way better for stability. But for something like a video action campaign, that jumps up to a minimum of 30, with 50 being the sweet spot. The AI has to see what success looks like before it can go out and find more of it.
But beyond just the raw number of conversions, these two things are the absolute deal breakers. First, you have to be tracking conversion values. If you're not telling Google that one sale is worth $10 and another is worth $500, then the whole idea of return on ad spend is meaningless. Second, you need at least a month of that data history. The algorithm needs to see a consistent pattern before it can start making smart bets with your money.
So that begs the question, right? What if you have a brand new campaign starting from scratch with zero data? Well, you can't just turn on tROAS from day one. Instead, there's a proven 3-phase ramp-up you need to follow to safely build up that data foundation the algorithm is so hungry for.
And here's that exact path. You kick things off in Phase 1, where your only job is to gather data. You use a strategy like max conversions just to get that volume up. Once you hit those minimums we just talked about, you move to Phase 2. Here, you switch to maximize conversion value. This starts teaching the AI to focus on the quality of the conversions, not just the quantity. And only then, after it has enough value data to work with, do you finally get to Phase 3 and apply a specific target ROAS.
Now here's a huge warning. Every time you make one of these big strategy changes, your campaign goes into a learning phase. This can last anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, and your performance is going to be, well, all over the place. Your gut is going to scream at you to panic and start tweaking things. Don't do it. You have to let the machine learn. Just be patient.
Okay, let's build on that, because app campaigns, they play by a whole different set of rules. The requirements here are way stricter. See, the AI isn't just trying to find you any old customer. It's trying to find your whales, that tiny percentage of users who are going to drive the vast majority of your revenue.
And finding those whales takes a ton more data. For App Campaign tROAS, the minimum isn't 15, it's not 30, it is 300. 300 conversions with value in the last 30 days. And that is a hard and fast rule. The algorithm needs a massive data set to be able to tell the difference between someone who might spend $1 and someone who might spend $1,000. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Google itself is super clear about what happens if you ignore this. And what's really interesting here is that it's not just that your performance will be bad, it's that your campaign might just stop spending money altogether. The AI simply won't risk your budget if it's not confident it can find the right users.
All right, next up is a setting that is so important, but man, it gets overlooked all the time, your conversion windows. The best way to think about these is as the AI's memory. It's the setting that tells Google how far back in time it's allowed to look to connect a purchase to one of your ads.
Just take a look at the defaults versus what's actually recommended for a tROAS strategy.
See that click-through window? The default is 30 days, but the recommendation is to push it out as far as 90 days. So why would you do that? Well, because your absolute best, highest value customers often take a lot longer to decide. And you need the AI to see that entire journey, from first click to final sale.
Let me put it another way. Think of your click-through conversions as the engine of your tROAS campaign. They are the strongest possible signal of a user's intent, and they are the main data the AI uses to calculate your return. View-through conversions, on the other hand, they're more like the billboard effect. They're useful for capturing the value of passive views, but they aren't what's actually driving the bus.
And that brings us perfectly to the final piece of this whole puzzle, your attribution model. This little setting is what decides how credit for a single sale gets shared among all the different ads a customer might have seen along the way. If you get this wrong, you could be starving your best campaigns of the credit they actually deserve.
Now, you might remember old models like position-based or time decay. Well, they're all history now. Google has basically sunset all of these older rules-based models. Why? To focus everything on its AI-powered solution, which is now the default for a very, very good reason.
So really, your choice today is pretty simple. You've got last click, which gives 100% of the credit to the very last ad someone clicked. That completely ignores every other touch point that got them there. Then you have data-driven attribution. It uses AI to look at the entire journey and gives partial credit where credit is due. For a tROAS strategy that needs to understand the whole funnel, data-driven isn't just a recommendation, it's essential.
And for all you app marketers, there's one more critical, very recent update. Google now attributes conversions to the date of the app install, not the date of the ad click. This is a huge deal. It makes your ROS reporting way more stable, and it finally aligns Google's data with what you're probably seeing in your third-party tracking tools.
So let's boil this all down. If you walk away with nothing else, please remember these 4 things. 1, meet your conversion minimums before you even think about starting. 2, for new campaigns, always follow that 3-phase ramp-up. 3, stretch out your conversion windows to give the AI more data to learn from. And 4, always use data-driven attribution, period. Which really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Go and take a hard look at your own campaigns. Right now, after everything we've just covered, ask yourself honestly, are you really giving Google's AI the clean, consistent, high-value data it needs to go out there and win for you?